Now, you would think that at the very least, the egregious murder of Carolina Hubner Muckarat should have resulted in this safe injection site being shut down, at least temporarily, at least until an investigation regarding this rancid facility could be completed. But no, it's business as usual at the South Riverdale Community Health Center. In fact, the other day, the Mensa Club members who run this safe injection site came up with a so-called marketing ploy that was so batshite crazy that we first did some research to ensure we were not being subjected to some sort of a sick prank. Here's the skinny. A few days ago, passerby Ginny Roth spotted a poster that had been posted at the South Riverdale Community Health Center, and it made her do a double take. The poster read, quote, "Got Sharps? Want chocolate? For every full Sharps container you return to counterfeit, we'll give you a chocolate bar," end quote. Thankfully, Ginny took a photo of this poster and posted it to social media, given that the signage has since been hastily removed. But on so many levels, this is equal parts astonishing and disturbing. For starters, heads up out there how many parents want their children gathering up used hypodermic needles. Oh, sure, an errant jab might lead to contracting everything from hepatitis to HIV, but hey kids, you stand to be rewarded with a chocolate bar. It turns out that this perverse reimagining of an Easter egg hunt is the bailiwick of an organization called Counterfeit. No, seriously, folks, that's its name, Counterfeit. Counterfeit is a harm reduction program for women, and it doesn't seem to mind causing potential serious harm for children. By the way, the very fact that this needle collection program exists, albeit temporarily, speaks volumes about the environment that surrounds this center. Imagine that. There are enough discarded Sharps nearby that Counterfeit can come up with a whiz-bang promotion to enlist kids to scoop up these potentially harmful needles in order to, score a Snickers bar? This is proof positive that this facility has no place in a residential neighborhood. Indeed, this egregious Sharps for Chocolates promotion even drew the attention of conservative leader Pierre Poilievre, who had this to say on Twitter, quote, "This is an actual sign from a drug consumption site in Toronto. What is happening in Canada?" End quote. No word yet from Prime Minister Trudeau about this preposterous program yet. What do you want to bet that blackface likely approves of such an initiative, given that this program is undoubtedly yet another example of diversity, inclusion, and equity? So it was that my cameraman Maurizio and I visited the South Riverdale Community Health Center on Tuesday. And we brought along a bag full of needles. We just wanted to put this harebrained program to the test. Namely, what sort of chocolate bar would we receive for our Sharps? Would it be a low-end Mars bar or a top-shelf Laura Secord treat? Well, here, check out the warm welcome we received. Hey, how you doing there? Oh, I'm just here to, excuse me.
No, you're not here for anything. Please leave.
I've got syringes here. I'm here for my candy bar.
Sir, please leave.
I'm here for my candy bar.
Please leave.
Excuse me?
No, you can't come in.
Well, this is a public facility, isn't it?
Not for you, no.
No? Why is that? Okay. Oh, geez, you're crushing me.
Yes.
You have a sign that says if you live in Leslieville and you're concerned about your kids picking up needles that surround the drug consumption site, you don't have to worry. In fact, if your kids collect enough, they can trade them in for chocolate. Here's my bag of needles. Do you want to take it?
Please leave.
No. No comment. But you have a sign advertising a candy bar.
No comment.
What about yourself, sir? Can I get a Mars bar, Snickers?
I don't work here, I'm sorry.
You don't work here?
No, I'm a neighbor.
Oh, okay then. Sorry about that. So, ma'am, who are you? Because you advertised a free candy bar for syringes, and here they are. Why did you put up that sign if you don't mean to fulfill the contract? What about that? Did you guys know Miss Muhammad? She's being charged with helping one of the... No comment? She's one of the workers here now charged with the murder. Wow. Now, if you can imagine the entitlement of the thugs who patronize this community center, Maurizio had his cell phone stolen right out of his hands by some deranged reprobate. That resulted in us calling the police, and they responded en masse. Our thanks, by the way, to the police for that response. Oh, by the way, don't blame the Toronto Police Service for a lack of law enforcement presence in this troublesome area. The political puppet masters have allegedly told the boys in blue to avoid patrolling this criminal hotbed. You see, evidently the sight of police officers may further stigmatize the clients of the South Riverdale Community Health Center. Oh, and we can't have that, can we? Yeah, so as Toronto continues to reimagine itself as San Francisco North, the police are actually being instructed to avoid places where there is a very high likelihood of crime being committed. Yeah, that sounds completely logical, doesn't it? Speaking of criminals, one of the suspects in the killing of Carolina Hubner Muckarat was arrested several weeks ago. His name is Damian Hudson. He is the poster boy for the caption, "Menace to Society." For starters, Hudson has an incredibly long criminal record dating back to 2011. He's being charged with everything from assault with a weapon to attempted murder. And incredibly, this animal was not put behind bars, but instead, he was out on bail when Carolina was killed, perhaps from a bullet emanating from Hudson's handgun. Oh, did I not mention that this darling had previously violated his probation orders some 16 times over? But thanks to the blackface liberals, trash like Hudson are worthy of a 17th chance. The real threat to Canadian society, after all, is all those Saskatchewan duck hunters, hence the rationale for blackface's obscene gun grab. But get this, just 3 hours before we arrived at the South Riverdale Community Crack Center, Toronto police released an update on the murder of Carolina Hubner Muckarat. Namely, 2 new suspects had just been arrested. The first is 20-year-old Hamad Mustafa Ibrahim. He's charged with manslaughter, robbery, and I know the following info might just shock you folks, failing to comply with the terms of his probation. The other suspect who was arrested is very surprising indeed. That would be 23-year-old Khalila Zara Mohammed. She's charged with accessory after the fact and obstruction of justice in relation to the shooting. But get this, folks, Miss Mohammed is actually an employee at the safe injection site. What's more, according to True North, she was featured in a glowing CBC News report last year in which she advocated for more drug consumption sites in order to, reduce stigma. You can't make this up, folks, because it would appear that in trying to figure out who's who in the safe injection zoo, it is getting harder to tell the livestock from the zoo keepers. But back to that outrageous Sharps for Chocolate poster. Thankfully, the outcry on social media resulted in the poster's removal. Jason Altenberg, who is the CEO of the South Riverdale Community Health Center, released the following statement, quote, "In an exuberance to get used needles off the street, one of our staff posted a sign that was never meant for the public. In no way, shape, or form was that communication meant for children. We apologize for any miscommunication," end quote. Is anyone other than a drooling dimwit buying that explanation? Altenberg says the communication was never meant for children, but it addresses children directly in that the reward is a child-appealing chocolate bar. And what's this exuberance bullshit? This was not a hastily crafted, handwritten message on a piece of foolscap. Rather, it was professionally rendered. And I bet it went through an approval process too. In fact, I'm betting that Altenberg and all the other woke dopes at this center probably thought it was a perfectly good idea until the community responded otherwise. Pathetic.